Hi, for the final person I want to talk about relative to tradition is this incredibly brilliant theologian scientist, Pierre Teilhard De Chardin, who was born in 1881 and died in 1955. In this book, at the heart of the matter, is the final book of his essays, the last thing he wrote. And it really deals with the Sacred Heart of Jesus. He had a vision as a young man where somehow all that Jesus meant, he just saw condensed powerfully. I don't say like a black hole, but you get the weight and the importance condensed into this flame of the Sacred Heart, and it kind of released him so he could focus on that, and it became more and more important in the way he understood it as a scientist. So I'm going to read you some of what's written in here. Granted, he's a little difficult, but that's okay. I'll hopefully interpret it right. It would be difficult for me to convey how deeply and forcefully and with what continuity, long before the notion of the universal Christ, because he's big on the cosmic Christ, which is also true for me, became explicitly coherent in me. My religious life in the pre-war years, pre-World War II, developed under the sign of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, understood in the way he had seen, and with the sense of wonder it aroused in me. All the time, the more I tried to pray, the more deeply did God materialize for me in a reality that was at once spiritual and tangible. In that reality, I'll tell you where he's going. Though I as yet had hardly guessed it, the great synthesis was beginning to be effected, which my life's whole effort was to be summed up, the synthesis of the above, the spiritual, with the ahead. Okay. I was not yet, further down, in theology when, through and under the symbol of the Sacred Heart, the divine had already taken on for me the form, the consistency, and the properties of an energy or a fire. Fire, energy. By that I mean it had become able to insinuate himself everywhere, to be metamorphosized into no matter what. So, I'll explain. Inasmuch as it was patient of being universalized, it could in the future force its way into and so amortize the cosmic milieu, easy to understand, right? In which exactly the same moment I was through another half of myself engaged in my home. In other words, what he's saying and what he looked for is in the scriptural sense is God will be all in all. That there'll come a time when the fire of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the heat will consume, the spirit will become one with, consume matter. There'll be this grand and glorious cosmic union between matter and consciousness, spirit and the material universe. That's what his vision, and for him, the Sacred Heart of Jesus was the portal, how this was going to happen. Real quick, finally, those of you who know about this, in 2 Peter chapter 3, there is a prediction, the world's not going to be destroyed by water again, but by fire, that it'll be consumed with fire. It's very possible, and according to this gentleman, that the fire that will consume the world will transform it into God, so God will be all in all. That's kind of exciting that this is what's coming, that in the end, as I'm going to explain now when I finally get to what it all, the wrap-up reason when I try to put as many dots as I can together, what it is that's coming, but it is most exciting. I sure hope I get to live to see it.